Hi everybody, this is Kara and she is a retreat guest here this week with me, but she's also considering doing my teacher training. So she had a bunch of questions for me and these are questions that I get all the time. So I thought I'd do a quick video so that if you are considering doing a teacher training, maybe I can answer those questions for you. Go ahead.
So who do you think should take a teacher training with you? Who is the ideal student?
Who should take a teacher training with me? I mean, I really feel like it's anybody that has done Pilates and that is passionate about it. I don't necessarily think you need to do the teacher training and become a teacher, right? You can, but maybe you're only doing the teacher training because you want to deepen your exploration and knowledge of the work, or maybe you want to take it further and make it a profession. So either way works. The most important thing is you have to be passionate about it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after you take the teacher training, how can a new instructor get started working in a studio?
So typically you're going to try to find a mentor at a studio near you. So you want to kind of enter a mentorship because you're not going to finish all your teacher training hours. You need to do the final test out.
Okay.
Right? So you need to go into the studio and you need to practice and teach and practice and teach. And then maybe they'll hire you.
Hopefully.
That's the goal. But I think it's important that you find a studio that fits with you and your personality and right where
and
you want to take your teaching.
What do you think that looks like to find a studio that works for you? Like, how do you know to find what's a match?
I mean, I always say your vibe attracts your tribe, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's important that when you go into a studio that you should feel like part of a community, you should feel included, inclusive, and not feel like, oh, that you don't know what you're doing. You should feel held and supported and encouraged to become a better teacher, right? Because you don't become a better teacher unless you make mistakes and you teach and you teach and you teach, right? And you have somebody there that's supporting you in a positive way and lifting you up versus like, because Pilates can be pretty intense and it can resemble the ballet world a little bit where like no one is ever perfect and that's not good enough, and we don't want to do that. We want to delete that.
And there's a lot to know.
Ooh, endless.
There's an ocean of knowledge.
Yes.
So how about the new instructor that is looking at starting programming their own classes? How do you get started? Like, how do you set your students up for success?
So I mean, it is really challenging because in my 2-week, in the camera so they can see it, because in the 2-week training that I do here, you're learning movement principles, mat 1, mat 2, mat 3, but I am literally on top of them from the get-go, and I'm teaching you how to sequence and cue starting at movement principles. What is movement principles? It's basically the pre-Pilates exercises along with anatomy and that kind of layering of knowledge. Again, you're building your foundation. So right from the start, I'm teaching you how to cue and sequence all the pre-Pilates exercises, which is invaluable because I'm telling you the Pilates exercises are really hard. Like most of your clients cannot do, bam, come up into hundreds with your legs really low and beat your arms for 100 counts. So I'm giving you that right away. My goal is in 2 weeks that you leave knowing how to cue and sequence and block a class, right? Okay.
What mistakes do you see new instructors make often?
What mistakes? I think they get too in their head. Am I doing it right? Is this right? Is this wrong? Da 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 da. Instead of just going, okay, I really need to move these people. Movement heals. Movement is better than stagnation, right? So don't be so afraid to kind of like step into that role of a teacher and make mistakes, but also like you have to really be brave, right? To do this. Being a teacher is really, really challenging and also humbling, but also really, really empowering. So, and also being okay with teaching a class and going, oops, I didn't mean that, haha. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not a big deal.
Laugh it off.
But sometimes students think, oh no, I screwed up. I'm such an idiot. I did that wrong. You just go, oh, I forgot that side. Here we go. Sorry. You know, everyone's human. And let me tell you, especially after the first 2 weeks of the teacher training, you know infinitely more than the clients you're going to teach in front of you.
Right.
Yeah?
You're the professional.
Yes.
So on your website, you have a mentoring program and you offer apprenticeships and everything. Can you talk a little bit more about that and maybe a success story?
Ooh, I have so many though. Okay, so recently I've created a mentorship program that's more online because, you know, this is a tourist town. People come and then they leave and they go back to their homes. So how can they continue to mentor with me is jumping into this online course with me, right? You can also Zoom into classes with me. You can stay after the teacher training's over and either basically shadow one of my teachers that works for me at the studio or myself, and you can observe all of us teaching. You can use the studio space and bring in clients. There's tons of people here visiting all the time. They're like, yes, I'll take a free Pilates class. So you can practice teach? So you can practice teach as many hours as you want.
That's amazing.
Yes, and then you can jump into classes and then ask questions, right?
Yeah.
I'm not really like on top of you going, do this, do that, right? I will definitely, and I still do this to this day for the teachers that teach for me. I'll go, took your class, it was amazing, but how about trying this?
Yeah.
Right? Just to help you grow.
Yeah.
That's the point. Yeah? Is that it?
I think that might be it.
Is that it? All right.
I have more questions, but I think that's
okay.
a good...
So then we'll do like video number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Ciao.